Reggie, what's the matter? What's the matter? It's me, Pam. It's me, Pam. What is it? What is it? Oh my God, they're all dead. They're all dead. 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 Curse you, Jason. Curse you, Jason Voorhees. I'm Charles Renton with the Retro View of Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Narrator, it wasn't, because they tried to go with a new beginning, a new timeline, and that was immediately halted. They hit a goddamn wall in the form of a ton of backlash and decided to go back to Jason Voorhees, and Jason lives, beware, I live. So, there were some good parts to this. There were a few too many characters that were basically just there to inflate the body count, and also had a twist that a lot of fans were against. Now, I will argue this is one of the better entries in the series because it tries a few different things and doesn't really go away from the meat and potatoes of Jason. It uses some of the same stuff, follows some of the same beats, while trying to go a different way because after Corey Feldman had killed Jason at the end of Friday the 13th, the final chapter, spoiler, it wasn't, they said we have to go a different direction. Now, again, a few good things, few too many people, some blood, a lot of off-screen violence, but titties, we got titties, that's a good thing. One glaring thing that I will talk about, though, that just made it impossible for me to elevate this thing beyond some neat little ideas, because just one glaring thing that's in my head now that just drags this movie down. So it was written and directed by Danny Steinman, who did The Unseen, Savage Streets, and another project that's on his IMDb page. He has since passed away about 11 years ago. Rest in peace, Danny Steinman. Also written by Martin Kutrosser, who did Friday the 13th Part 3 with Shelley. Don't worry, we'll get to another character that's just about as annoying as Shelley here in a bit. And also David Cohen, who did a movie called The Treasure. So, you have an adult Tommy now, not Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman's in the very beginning of this, and considering this movie happened only 1 year after the first one, okay, 12-year-old Corey Feldman, 12-year-old Tommy. He sees Jason rise up, and oh my God, he's coming back. Some people dug up his grave, and Jason's here, and then we smash cut to an adult Tommy. So let's just say 10 years had passed. That would put this in 1994. I'm willing to bet that more like, more like maybe 12 to 13 years have passed. I mean, however much time has passed, he's clearly in at least his early 20s. And yet this looks exactly like it's in the same time period, because it was filmed a year after, and they didn't have enough budget to try and elevate it and say what the technology would be. This is not, a new nightmare with Freddy Krueger and the film within a film and all that. No, this is just basically a new beginning, but stuck in the same time period. $2.2 million budget. $6.2 million in today's money. Opening was $8 million, so not all that bad. And then a $22.8 million gross in today's money, for being honest. And $22 million overall gross, so way down from Part 3 and Part 4. Part 4 did about 33. Part 3 did 36.3. I did retro reviews of those, but a lot of numbers in my head. That'd be $62.7 million in today's money. So still a massive, massive success, even with the marketing. Even if the marketing cost $1.5 million, whatever. They still made a lot of money. The problem is the twist at the end, a twist that, in retrospect, people should have seen coming a mile away because it was glaringly obvious where they were going. Granted, this is when slashers were getting more frequent, more ridiculous, but, people weren't as desensitized to it. I laughed my ass off during a lot of this movie because a lot of it is funny because I'm weird and I find some violence in movies funny. But that being said, the twist pretty much made them go back to the old reliable with Jason. And then it just got more and more ridiculous until he took Manhattan and then he went to hell. Then the series went on ice and all that stuff. So, after killing Jason years ago, again, a time jump that would have been fine if they would have tried to not make it look like it was still in the mid-80s. Tommy is sent to a halfway house in the countryside and killings start again after a certain incident. And if you know anything about this movie, you know what the twist is. If you don't, well, sorry, it's been out for almost 40 years. I'm going to spoil the goddamn thing because it's a retro review. Not exactly a well-received movie is what I noted. And it's a shame because, again, there were good ideas here, but 3 different writers, including the director, you could tell there was a clash of ideas. So, some guys defile the, killer's grave. 2 people that were seemingly from this halfway house in the countryside. that's just taking place in the same area. Apparently, there are just houses that they can just bop to and just film this shit. There's no set location. It's somewhere around Camp Crystal Lake, except not. And then Tommy's all freaking out and everything. Oh my god, I can't believe this. Like, oh no, he's back, he's back, he's back. And then we smash cut to an adult Tommy that, again, even if 10 years have passed, we're going into the mid-90s with 80s technology. Sorry, I just can't get over it. No exploding hockey mask for the credits this time. And there was a character named Joey that was super annoying, that liked to eat chocolate bars, be very, very irritating, on the same level as Shelly. My God, Shelly's one of the worst goddamn characters. Not the actor. I hope the actor's doing well, and if they passed away, I'm very sorry. Same with the character, or same with the actor who played Joey. Just a very irritating character. Fortunately, not around as long as Shelly this time. Tommy's not doing all that well. You have Pam, played by Melanie Kinnaman, who is beautiful in this, I just want to say. Probably still is, I don't know. Adult Tommy is played by John Shepard, famous for The Pie. And then you have Reggie Shavar Ross, who's the little black kid that's in this, straight out of People Under the Stairs, except People Under the Stairs was actually good. That actually had better pacing than this. Dr. Matt Leonard, Richard Young, he wants to be Richard Young. Do you really want to be Richard forever? Richard Young, oh Richard Young. Sheriff Tucker, Marco St. John, that name may sound familiar to you. And then various others, including Robin, who's played by Juliette Cummins. I promise you all, I reacted to that last name with the good taste and maturity that you come to expect from me. There is also a character named Viv, and my God, that actress is beautiful. So, Reggie pulls pranks on Tommy. That's a mistake for a guy that clearly is borderline psychotic, and then becomes full-blown psychotic by the end. He's got his mask still. Reggie's playing with the toy spider, and the neighbors, Ethel and, as I call him, sane Randy Quaid, mother and son, are not happy with this halfway house being near their place because this one couple keeps going around and fucking. To be fair, if you looked at that woman, I wouldn't blame. It's like, the young girl that came from the halfway house. I mean, come on. Her and the guy, boy howdy, young people just bumping uglies. So, yeah, Ethel. I mean, they made these hicks all kinds of dirty. Joey is a complete idiot, ruins the laundry, pisses off Vic, who is chopping wood, and Vic chops him up. Now, that's good, because honestly, I would have freaking chopped Joey up because he's a goddamn idiot. And, yeah, it was justified, perfectly justified. Worth it, because it has one less annoying person named Joey in this world. So, paramedics arrive, and one seems very, very traumatized by seeing Joey's body. And spoiler, this paramedic, Roy Burns, is Joey's father. So guess who the killer is? It's not Tommy, who has a psychotic breakdown. It's not Jason, it's Roy. That is where pretty much everybody gets really pissed off. I will explain to you why that wasn't the worst twist in the world, and at least they tried to go a different way. Yes, they had some off-screen violence. Yes, they had some titties. They had some very nice. I will tell you this right now. The cast, boy howdy, very, very nice. We have some 50s greasers that pop up. They get dispatched. One gets a road flare in the mouth, which was funny to me. That's not how you use road flares. You don't make yourself a human lantern. The other gets his throat slashed. And then, is it Jason? Is it Tommy? Is it a little bit rock and roll? It's Roy. It's Roy. That's pretty much it. Quick, everyone, just anger Tommy. Everyone just tries to anger Tommy. And again, there are some good ideas here. Tommy, having killed Jason may become the new Jason just because he is so psychotically broken. And also his sister's nowhere around. He attacks, or one guy pisses him off. He attacks him, hits a DVD, or rather, an FU or attitude adjustment through the table. Non-wrestling fans have no idea what I'm goddamn talking about. Good thing tables are made out of balsa wood. And then suddenly there's a hick guy that shows up to earn a meal, and Ethel says, clean out the chicken coop shit and I'll feed you. Okay. And then he later spies on a couple that's banging, that couple that bangs in the forest, that couple that just keeps running off. And he gets killed, others get killed. It's actually kind of funny because there's a garden shears moment where her eyes get poked out. And then the guy gets his eyes strapped. The young man gets his eyes strapped and totally taken out. And that's funny to me. And the cop, or Sheriff Tucker, is told, tells the mayor it's Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is dead. He's like this ashtray. He's dead. We cremated him. Except you didn't. Or maybe you did, but then they retconned it by the time this movie was done. The garden shears, shrieking, burning noises, as I call them. I did like how the guy got his eyes popped out. That was kind of funny. Then a sudden nightfall. Reggie goes to meet his brother. That is Rick Thriller James, bitch. And there's a beautiful woman that is in his van. He eats too many enchiladas. Goes in an outhouse. He gets killed. She gets killed. Various death happens. Tommy totally disappears for like 30 minutes here, implying that he is actually the killer. Except he's not. They just said, okay, John Shepard, we don't need you for a few days. Just stay off there and we'll bring you back. Okay, we'll do that. And then I did like how Tommy beat up sane Randy Quaid at this point. That was kind of funny. And then he's racing his motorcycle around, sane Randy Quaid is. They hurt me, mama, and then he got decapitated, which was fitting. Oh, the second most annoying character this side of Joey. Though Shelley still takes the goddamn cake because Shelley was so goddamn annoying and on television too much. So, Ethel also dies, gets jabbed through the window. There's one character, Jake, who has a stutter. Decides to be, as a hit on the character Robin, Miss Cummins. I'm sorry, I'm mature. She kind of laughs him off. He gets killed. Various people get killed. They're piled up in Tommy's bedroom. Pam and Reggie are the only ones left, by the way, saying, what is it? Oh my God, they're all dead. Here's Jason. And then in a downpour, why does the rain always hit at this point? Here comes the rain again, washing away the memories, as Annie Lennox once said. I think those are the lyrics. Reggie shows up in the smallest payloader this side of Carnosaur, except this came out years before Carnosaur. And then they battle with Jason. They get in the barn. The same barn, I assume, is part 3 and 4. It has to be. It goddamn has to be. Because they're so cheap, let's just use the same goddamn sets. Here's Tommy. So it's not him, unless it's a personality disorder and he's projecting that, and we're going full My Bloody Valentine 3D. And basically Tommy gets slashed. He rises up and saves Reggie and Pam. Matt's been killed. All these people have been killed. And, Roy falls on the goddamn spiked deal thing that they use for farming. And he's dead. The mask falls off. And oh my God, it's Roy. He did that because it was his son that got killed. Even though his son was an orphan. But he kept tabs on his son. And also Tommy has the mask and has nightmares that he's killing people. And then the last shot is Pam coming into his room. Tommy has the mask on and oh my God, Tommy's the new Jason. And then they retconned that whole goddamn thing and Jason just came back. And Tommy was killed in the beginning of part 6. Hooray! A new beginning and a sudden stop. There were good ideas here. There was just a mixture of too many things, too many moving parts, and also the time jump part just bothered me because Tommy was at least a decade older, and I just can't ignore that. I just can't. I don't know why. And all the slasher things to ignore, I can't ignore that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.